Welcome anyone to my YouTube channel. This is Everett, aka 2Beast to Kill You, aka the Beast with the Least. And this is a video I was planning on making, then decided, it's, maybe it's a little too late. Thought it would die down, but no. The subject just keeps getting brought up, and more whatever negativity and all that stuff just keeps going and going and going. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my 2 cents in, but of course I'm talking about Xbox. If you've seen the title for the video, yeah, the state of Xbox hate. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and hit that intro. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about this a bit. But, if you like what I do on this channel, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. So again, I was planning on doing this, making a video about this. Then I said, you know what, it's okay. I waited a couple days, kind of thought it was going to die down, and no. Ever since the Game Pass price hike, it has just been every few days something else. Every few days. And I just wanted to talk about this because it's a little hilarious. But yeah. So just I guess a few things to catch up. So yeah, we had the $30 or Game Pass being bumped up to $30, and of course that just not made a lot of people happy, we'll say. But after that, we have the narrative Xbox is dead, like, all the time. Whatever. But there was a leak on Reddit or whatever, I don't know what website, from I've never heard of this guy, but apparently he's a pretty good leaker named Sneakers SO, saying that Xbox was getting out of hardware. So obviously the internet ran with it. Then we had Microsoft put out an official statement, or given an official statement to Windows Central, saying that no, we're still making hardware. They basically referred to their announcement that they had with AMD that, like, hey, no, we're making hardware, we're making consoles. After that same leaker, Sneakers, just in so many words basically said that Phil Spencer was fake. He had people playing his account, to show video, to show, oh, he plays video games, whatever. Basically what Elon Musk was doing. And he was using marketing funds apparently for that. That's neither here nor there. I don't, but obviously the internet took that and be like, look, see, he's fake. You'd think that it would have died down after that, with, obviously people are not going to just accept Microsoft's word and everything. And I'll be honest with you, they don't have the best track record in, saying one thing and then keeping their word. It's not like they straight out lie, but like, hey, they can be a little bit like, oh, maybe, and again, like I said, I wasn't going to make this video because it seemed like, yeah, it was kind of dying down. You're going to get this Xbox is dead regardless, even though, whatever. It wasn't until the last couple days, it was yesterday, that this screenshot was going around, and I'll put it up on the video, of, like, this person saying they were at a Walmart and, like, hey, they're, like, taking down the Xbox stuff or whatever. And then, of course, from there, it just snowballed into, well, oh look, Target and Walmart are pulling all their stock from the shelves. And obviously we had the whole like Sam's Club or Costco or something like that. They were doing that, and hey, they're Xbox is not being sold, in stores and all this stuff. Yeah, so obviously, again, the whole like, oh, that's it, Xbox is done. They're pulling out of the game, and this, and that. Started up again, which you could be like, one of two camps. Like, yeah, maybe it is happening, and or they're winding down because they want to start getting ready for the next console, and they're not the market leader. They're getting beat up by PlayStation. That's obviously really the case. So yeah, but then it turns out that screenshot that someone supposedly took, a picture of, oh, they're pulling stuff from Walmart. It's from 2023, like a Reddit post from 2023 apparently, and so I guess it could have just been like, oh, they were needed to be restocked, whatever. It's neither here nor there. And then, of course, we had Microsoft Xbox make their official statement saying that, no, we're still being sold in stores. We still this, and that. Apparently, Target and Walmart were like, no, we're still selling these things, But again, it's the Xbox thing of like, it is always going to be, look, they're dead. They're dead. Xbox is done. They're going full third party. We have the new Sega and everything. And yeah, so that's context, obviously, leading up to this. For me, I just think that this is all ridiculous. Now, I'm not one of those people, like, obviously I've said it before. I'm an Xbox guy more than a PlayStation guy. I've not touched my PlayStation in a long time. I don't really play the PlayStation games. I think they're all a lot, they're typically boring for me, unless it's God of War. I wish Sony or PlayStation would bring back Uncharted. I would love for PlayStation to let Insomniac do another Sunset Overdrive. We don't need more Spider-Man and Wolverine games and all that. Well, Wolverine is fine, but we don't need more Spider-Man games, and especially after that last one. I don't care about Horizon. Last of Us is boring. Yeah. I am not a PlayStation guy. I'm more of an Xbox guy. I like Halo enough. Gears of War is my favorite. Things like that. Like, I like Forza. I like the controller. I like the OS. I'm just more of an Xbox guy. That said, I will never just be like, well, these people who are like, Game Pass is this just the best, and people need to accept it. Like, no, I'm not going to just say that. I still think Xbox is the best value in gaming, and it's really great, but fuck, $30. $30 is a lot to ask for a subscription service. I'm not one of those people who thinks that Xbox is just, oh, they're done. I do think that they're making another console. I do believe that. But if you were to tell me like this could be their last traditional console or whatever you want to say, I could believe it. But I could also believe that with PlayStation as well. It just seems to be the way the industry is going. I mean, I think Nintendo's probably ahead of the curve on this one, with them, doing a handheld console hybrid. And I think Xbox is smart. Now, it's a little too expensive, I think, but I think Xbox is smart to do the Ally X. And, if they end up actually doing their own handheld, would probably be the way to go. And, there's a rumored PlayStation handheld for their next console iteration and all that stuff. I just think, yeah, the traditional home console is not going to be a thing. That's why we hear the rumors and Microsoft saying, yeah, oh, the next one's going to be like a PC console hybrid and all this stuff. But I also think that we're moving so fast toward digital and streaming that like eventually maybe consoles are not really a thing. It's, you know, you have the service and everything. But you know, that's just my opinion on all this stuff. But we're back to the Xbox hate. I think this is just, again, I said this in a podcast, and I might have said it in a previous video or whatever, that like Microsoft, you know, people are now getting more angry at Xbox because they're just seemingly going for profits and everything. Like, it just seems like they're like, you know, we got to make money. And, you know, that they're a business. That's what businesses do. And, like, you know, people are pissed off because they wanted to go, you know, starting to release games on PlayStation. But, you know, their logic behind it is sound. They're third place. Again, you know, if you're last place of the big three, like, what are you going to do to try and differentiate yourself, or to try and just like be better at making profits or whatever? And again, you know, like I said, like I was saying, that I said this before, they did all this good stuff. You know, they had backwards compatibility, they had the Game Pass to start, you know, when it was cheaper, you know, all your, you know, the forwards compatibility where it was just like, oh, you know, if you had an Xbox One game, you know, you get the Series X version just like that. And, you know, I mean, not every game, but a lot of the games, you know, was just like, you know, the cloud saves, quick resume, you know, they started the whole like, hey, here's a from us, not from third party, you know, an Elite controller, you know, the controller, you know, for people with handicaps and all that stuff. They did a lot of like consumer friendly shit. You know, they drove the industry forward with a lot of different stuff, you know, hard drives and the internet and downloading games, you know, and the digital library becoming a thing and all this stuff. But they still ended up third place. And that was because of the Xbox One generation. That was the generation to win, and they lost it by, you know, Don Matrick being stupid and them making stuff that wasn't popular at the time. The thing is, now everyone has, most people are digital. Everyone's online. You know, the things that they were trying to do with Xbox One ended up happening. But Xbox has always been the outsider looking in when it came to the casual mass audiences. And you know, you have, you know, sites like IGN and GameSpot or whatever, when every time you well, not every time, but like if you listen to a lot of these people, you know, a lot of their podcasts and read their articles, it's always way more, you know, PlayStation centric. And that's just the case. That is the truth. Whether you want to believe it or not, or think it's conspiracy theory kind of thing, it's true. It doesn't help that a guy like Jeff Keighley, who is helping to bring gaming to a more casual audience and a wider audience, is a PlayStation fanboy. Whether he wants to say it or not, but like the perception is that he's a PlayStation fanboy. You can't run away from that PlayStation and Nintendo are never, no matter what they do, they have enough defenders that you can't put them down enough. Like, they're never going to be put down enough. PlayStation, because when you look at this, like, Nintendo announces Switch 2, it's $450 or $500 depending, and $80 games, and you have to have their online to be able to even use, you know, to talk to people online, and you have to even put your phone number or whatever it was. There's a lot of different things that people were just like, wow, you know. But they're still gonna sell that console like, you know, it's still selling like hotcakes, the Switch 2. PlayStation, when you really look at it, like, yeah, they release games, but they haven't really released that many games this generation, you know, and they're slow to get, you know, to do certain things like, oh, you know, you could play your PlayStation 5 games on, or your PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5, that kind of stuff. Even though they did it, but they were slow to it. Or if like, hey, you have the PlayStation 4 version, you want the PS5 version, it's a $10 upgrade. Things like that. But you're never going to hear the kind of vitriol that you hear toward Xbox. Even though they're like, hey, you know what, you just free upgrade to the current gen version of this game. Or, you don't have to pay for, give us your number to be able to talk to people. Like, yeah, they did try to do $80 games, but they said, okay, screw it, we'll step back. They have released games. Whether you want to think so or not, they have. And I'm not talking about, like, Activision stuff and, that, and Bethesda stuff. They've released games, from Gears and Forza and stuff like that. Halo, But again, it's just how it is. And I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point now, because every time there's something, the biggest thing, like if you look at those screenshots, there's 1.6 million views for them of that tweet saying like, oh yeah, they're pulling their stuff. But only 12,000 views for people saying, for someone saying like, no, this is actually not real. This is not the case. So what's going to be spread more is that like, oh yeah, they're done. Or like when people bring up the like whole, just 4 games, originally when Microsoft or Xbox was like, oh, we're going to release some games on PlayStation. Everyone's like, they said just 4 games, but they lied to you. But when you look back, like they said, yeah, it's 4 games right now. Meaning like they always had the plan to like, oh yeah, they wanted to see how this was going to do, and it did well enough that they were always planning on releasing more games on PlayStation and everything. So, the state of Xbox hate right now is just absolutely ridiculous. You have way too many. Here's the thing too. Another thing that like is hilarious to me is that, so you have the Xbox, centric people. They talk about Xbox for the most part. You do have some that are like, oh, we're Xbox centric, but they never seem to really want to try and give Xbox the benefit of the doubt. You have guys, I'm not going to name them actually, but there are some out there that, they like, really, you're an Xbox fan? It's hard to believe with the way you talk about them. But, they'll say they're critical of them, but they're not really critical. They're just kind of talking shit. But also, too, they talk about Xbox at the same time. Then you have the PlayStation-centric people who talk about Xbox. There's great, follow some of these people on Twitter. I'm trying to remember their names right now, but like there's some people who point out that like these people who do PlayStation podcasts tend to mainly talk about Xbox and just talk shit about Xbox. And so when that is the main thing that you're seeing is just negativity, especially too, it's funny when there's a negative story about PlayStation, like they closed down a studio or whatever it is, it gets talked about, but it's pretty much like, okay, it happened. But when Xbox does it, it's videos after videos after videos for, a week. Because that's what gets clicks. That's what gets clicks, though. I can guarantee you, if you look at how many views, I don't get a lot of views on this channel. But if I put the right hashtags on this and I'm talking about Xbox and the hate for Xbox, I'll probably get more views on this video than I typically will get on other videos. Because I can look at that. If I look up real quick when I said, when I talked about the Xbox Ally prices, I did my, let's talk about the Xbox Ally X. Actually, that one did get 195 views. But I was talking a little bit negative about it because, hey, the Ally X prices, I have a lot of views on that. But then you look at my Darksiders, not nearly as many views as the talking about the Xbox Ally X. It's just how it is. You talk about Xbox, people are going to click on it. Now, when it's negative, it's gonna get more clicks, more views. It's just how it is. And I'm not going to, you know, begrudge people who use that to their advantage, but it is at a ridiculous level. But I don't know. This video's gone on for 20 minutes now, it looks like, and I'm rambling about like how this is, you know, everything just gets, you know, mashes together and makes it where like that's all it is. And again, with the casual audiences, they're not going to look deeper into it. They're just going to see like, oh yeah, Xbox is pulling out of the gaming business. Oh yeah, Xbox just shuts down studios left and right. Oh, they cancel games. Oh, they, you know, this, and all it is just the negative part, where maybe a little bit of a, oh no, Xbox came out and said no, we're still making consoles. No, we're still being sold it, but doesn't get nearly as enough eyes as the like, oh no, they're out. But I don't know. Okay, I'll go ahead and end this. If you like what I do on this channel, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell button, all that, or whatever, you know, whatever it is, all that good stuff. But until next time, I'll catch you later.